Have you ever wondered why Scorpio carries such an intense, mysterious, and even dark reputation within the zodiac? What if I told you that this reputation is not just a stereotype, but a spiritual reflection of something much deeper? Scorpio is not just a sign, it is a portal, a dark seal marked by something that few have the courage to face. Among all the signs, Scorpio is the one that walks closest to the shadows. But is that really a negative thing? Or is there a hidden mission behind this? Darkness? Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, spoke of souls marked by an invisible calling. And Scorpio appears exactly at that point where pain meets transformation, where the end is just the beginning of something bigger. There is a hidden code in Scorpio that activates forces that most do not even realize. Sharp intuition, unusual magnetism, silences that speak 1,000 words. This sign doesn't just feel the world, it deciphers secrets that the entire world tries to hide. If you are a Scorpio or know someone of this sign, pay attention. This message came to you for a reason, and no, it wasn't by chance. There's something being revealed, and it could completely transform the way you see yourself. But before continuing, comment below. I carry this energy. Let's see how many conscious Scorpios are among us. Later today in this video, you will discover what Cayce really revealed about Scorpio, and why he may indeed be the darkest sign in the zodiac. Not out of malice, but out of destiny. And that's when it all starts to make sense. If at any point you've ever felt like there's something different inside you, a silent strength, a constant feeling, an intuition that guides you even when everything seems confusing, then you need to pay attention to every detail in this video. What we are going to reveal here about Scorpio is not in common horoscopes, nor in the superficial interpretations that are spread around. We are talking about profound knowledge, validated by spiritual sources such as Edgar Cayce, who saw beyond the visible and deciphered the mysteries of the soul. Comment now, I accept my essence, or Scorpio carries the truth, if you are feeling this connection. Don't underestimate the power of a comment. It's not just a gesture, it's a spiritual seal, a way of saying to the universe, I recognize who I am. And if you have ever experienced situations where your intuition saved you, where your feelings were misunderstood but accurate, share. Your story could be the sign someone else needs today. Enjoy the video now. It helps the message reach those who really need to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Here, each video is a portal to self-knowledge, spirituality, and connection with something much greater. Scorpio did not come into the world to be ordinary, came to transform. And the next secret we reveal will explain why this energy is feared, but also deeply needed. Let's continue. Have you ever felt like you carry a pain that no one understands? A deep, almost invisible feeling that there is something in you that the world is not ready to see, hear, or accept? Maybe you learned from an early age to hide this intensity, to silence your truths, to pretend that everything is fine when, in fact, inside you, an entire universe is screaming. What if this pain, this depth, this silence full of senses, weren't weakness? What if they were actually a sign, a spiritual code? Scorpio didn't come into the world to fit in. He came to break cycles, provoke rebirths, and carry truths that most avoid. Inside the Scorpio soul, an ancient force lives, something that defies logic, that bothers those who live on the surface. Scorpio energy is not obvious, it is not predictable, it is not easy to tame. This is why many try to escape, label, or even reject this sign. But the truth is that Scorpio sees what others don't want to see, and that is power. You may have even tried to adapt, hide how you feel, reduce your presence to be more accepted. But with Scorpio, this never works for long, because no matter how much you try to silence your essence, it will manifest itself. In dreams, in goosebumps, in sensations that you can't explain. It's as if the entire universe is reminding you, you are not here by chance. You were marked. And that's where the most important call comes in, awakening. Edgar Cayce talked about souls who came with a silent but immense purpose. Souls who needed to go through losses, betrayals, intense new beginnings, and deep loneliness, not as punishment, but as preparation. Scorpio represents this soul, the soul that dives into chaos not to get lost, but to find the hidden gold that no one else has the courage to seek. It is the crossing that separates the chosen ones from those who just follow the current. Maybe you don't understand. It gives exactly why certain pains seem to haunt you, or why you connect so easily with other people's pain. Maybe it's because in some way you came into the world to understand what no one else understands, to feel in your own body what many people pretend doesn't exist. This is no coincidence. It's a mission, and this is why Scorpio is so misunderstood, because it is easier to judge than to recognize that some people came to transmute the shadows. What few understand is that Scorpio is not dark by choice. He is dark by spiritual design. There is a reason why so many intense, mysterious, and even painful experiences happen to those who carry this energy. These are experiences that forge the soul, that awaken profound spiritual gifts, such as refined intuition, energetic sensitivity, the power of regeneration, and the magnetism that attracts and scares at the same time. And no matter how many times Scorpio falls, he always comes back. Always. Stronger, wiser, quieter. And that silence. Oh, that Scorpio silence. It is not empty. It is full of layers, of visions, of emotions that were unspoken, but felt. Scorpio listens to what you don't say. Notice in your eyes what you try to hide. And contrary to what many think, he doesn't judge. He keeps it, analyze, and when necessary, act. Therefore, never underestimate the presence of a Scorpio. He may seem distant, but he is seeing everything, feeling everything, capturing what you haven't even noticed yet. And no matter how much the world tries to fit Scorpio into molds, labels, cliches, it always escapes, because it was not born to be understood rationally, born to be lived. Scorpio is experience. It is an emotion that passes through the flesh and reaches the spirit. And that's why, when a Scorpio comes into your life, nothing stays the same. It transforms, from the inside out, sometimes with love, other times with pain, but always with truth. Now, you may be asking yourself, but why does all this happen to me? Why does it seem like I always attract the most difficult situations, the deepest tests, the most intense encounters? The answer lies in your energy, on your frequency. Scorpio vibrates at a level that few can sustain, and so everything around intensifies. All, from feelings to relationships, going through the cycles of life, death, and rebirth that seem to happen all the time. And this is where most people give up, because living with intensity scares, loving deeply hurts. Seeing beyond the veil is lonely, but that's precisely where Scorpio finds its strength, in the ability to continue, even when everything falls apart, to rise from the ashes, of finding meaning in chaos, not as someone who got used to suffering, but as someone who understood that suffering is also a code, a warning, a call to something greater. Cayce believed that Scorpios were silent messengers of the unseen, who carried within themselves the gift of healing through pain, of truth through silence, of wisdom through shadow. And when you start to accept that, everything starts to make sense. You understand why you've always felt like you don't belong in this ordinary world, why your presence makes an impact, why your absence weighs heavily. You didn't come to be just another one. You came to remind the world of what it tries to forget. So, if up until now you've felt that this video is speaking directly to your soul, don't ignore this sign. This connection is no coincidence. It's confirmation. And now, I want you to do something important. If you are a Scorpio, or live with someone who carries this energy, write in the comments, "I carry this energy." If this message touched you, write, "I accept my essence." And if you feel that, even in the midst of chaos, there is a spiritual force guiding you, write, "My pain awakens me." Your comment is not just engagement. It's ritual. It's a seal. It is an energetic signature that you understood the message, that you are ready to continue this spiritual journey, which, by the way, is just beginning. Like this video now if you feel this truth. Share with someone who needs to awaken. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, sign up now, because what we reveal next will show you why Scorpio may be the darkest, but it is also the most necessary. According to Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, Scorpio is not just a sign of the Zodiac. It is a soul that has been marked with the most profound and spiritually demanding mission of all, the mission to transform pain into spiritual power. Cayce, who channeled messages in a trance, stated and interpreted the soul through astral maps, stated that each sign represents a stage in the evolution of human consciousness, and Scorpio, Scorpio is the initiation of the spirit through the shadow. It's no wonder that everything in this sign seems more intense, more full of mystery, silence, raw emotion. Because for Scorpio, the world isn't a place to live comfortably, it's a proving ground. When Cayce mentioned Scorpio in his astrological readings, he associated this energy with the house of regeneration and symbolic death. But what most people don't understand is that death here does not mean the end, it means transmutation. For Cayce, Scorpio represented the point where the spirit decides to break with old patterns and dive into the pain it releases. The shadow, according to him, is not punishment, it's called. It is the whisper of the invisible asking for courage to cross the dark valley and come out on the other side with something that only those who had faith can carry, an awakened conscience. Scorpio, then, is the sign of the threshold. Cayce said that it is there that the spirit is tested, where false teachers fall, and where true initiates emerge. This energy carries a seal. It attracts experiences that, in other people, would seem impossible to bear. But in Scorpio, these experiences become raw material for wisdom. Every disappointment becomes an alert. Every loss becomes a portal. Every silence becomes a radar. And this is no coincidence. It is part of the spiritual structure this soul chose to be born with. Yes, you chose. Cayce stated that souls choose when, where, and how they will reincarnate. And those who come under the sign of Scorpio do not do so by chance. They accept the burden. They accept the journey, even if that means being born into dysfunctional families, experiencing early losses, feeling alone from an early age, or going through trials that seem to have no end. But what the world doesn't see is that every Scorpio scar has a spiritual name. Each pain carries an instruction, and every dark night of the soul hides a revelation that time will bring. Many Scorpios feel out of place, even when surrounded by people. They feel like they don't belong, that they carry something they can't explain. And this feeling, this silence, this look that seems to see beyond the flesh. Cayce said it is the spiritual memory of everything they have experienced before. Scorpio, according to him, carries old records, information encoded in the soul. And that's why they feel so much, because they know, even without knowing how to explain it. Because they remember, even though they've never heard it. Because they see, even when the world is blind. And that's exactly what scares others. Scorpio's ability to touch the invisible, to feel what no one says, to attract situations and people that need to be transformed. Scorpio doesn't enter someone's life for nothing. Cayce saw this sign as a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual, as if they were walking portals, which walk between the living and the dead, between the visible and the hidden, between what is said and what is felt. It is not strange, then, that so many Scorpios are naturally attracted to topics such as spirituality, the occult, depth psychology, astrology, mediumship, energy healing. They don't look for answers, they seek confirmation. Edgar Cayce also said that Scorpio's energy holds something that he called the sacred flame of inner purification, an invisible fire which burns everything that is not true. Scorpio does not tolerate lies, games, masks, even if you don't speak, feel, and walks away, but not out of pride, out of protection. Because Cayce taught that when a Scorpio becomes contaminated with false energies, he becomes ill. Literally, your soul feels, your body responds, your vibration plummets. That's why Scorpio needs to learn to preserve itself, to cleanse itself spiritually, to shield itself, because your energy field is highly receptive, almost mediumistic, and you know that repetitive cycle in the lives of many Scorpios, that pattern of being born, growing up, getting intensely involved, suffering, isolating yourself, and then being reborn with more strength. Cayce said that these cycles are part of training. These are karmic lessons constructed even before the soul incarnates. These are activation portals. The more pain, the more strength. The more fall, the more preparation. The more loss, the more clarity. And no, this is not punishment. It's selection. It's polishing. Because the Scorpio soul did not come into the world to experience the ordinary. It came to provoke the extraordinary. And the most impressive thing is that Cayce pointed to Scorpio as one of the signs with the greatest potential for spiritual enlightenment. Yes, precisely him. the most misunderstood, the most judged, the most intense, but also the most prepared to bear the truth, because the process of enlightenment, according to Cayce, does not happen in light, but in shadow. And no one dives into the shadows better than Scorpio. No one faces their own demons with such coldness, with such a thirst for self-knowledge, with such silent courage. And it is this courage that makes all the difference. Cayce believed that the world needs Scorpios, that without them, secrets would not be revealed, that without them, deep healing would not happen, that without them, the cycles would not break. Because it is Scorpio who crosses the portals that others avoid, who cleanses the emotional basements of humanity, who touches the wounds that everyone hides. And he does this not out of vanity, but by destiny. Now, if up until now you still doubt the spiritual weight you carry, perhaps it's time to silence the world and listen to what your soul is trying to tell you. You feel things before they happen. You dream of messages that you don't know where they come from. You get goosebumps when you enter certain places. You shut up when you know you're right. You forgive, but you don't forget. You fall, but you come back. It always comes back. This is all your spiritual field manifesting. It is the call of Scorpio making itself present. And in that moment, if you are still here, listening, feeling, recognizing something inside you that pulses, then you are part of it. You carry this energy. And now is the time to let the universe know. Write in the comments, I carry this energy. If everything you've heard so far has spoken to you in a deep, silent, overwhelming way, write, the shadow calls me. And if you, even without understanding everything, feel like you are ready to go deeper, write, my mission begins now. Don't underestimate the power of these words. Each comment is an energetic confirmation, a vibrational seal, an echo that reverberates in the invisible. Like this video if you felt this truth in your body, and share it with someone who needs to remember who they are. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now, because the next revelation will show why Scorpio not only carries the shadow, but dominates the portals that exist within it. And what comes next will move you on an even deeper level. Yes, Scorpio feels more, see more, and that is why so often it is misunderstood, distorted, and removed. But what the world sees as coldness is, in fact, a depth that others don't know how to deal with. Scorpio doesn't live on the surface of things. He sees the roots, the invisible layers, the unspoken silences, the eyes that look away, the words that carry poison, and those that hide wounds. And that's why he's scary, because there is no way to fool someone who feels on the field, and not just in their body, who listens to what is not said, that you sense it before it happens. And all of this has a reason. Scorpio doesn't forget, because everything about him is spiritual memory. He carries memories that are not always from this life. There's something about Scorpios that has always pulsed, a type of ancestral souvenir, a connection to unseen forces that make your perception sharp, almost supernatural. Sometimes this sensitivity scares even him. Feel when someone is lying, even without proof. You know something is going to go wrong before it happens. Dream about signs, see images when you close your eyes, hear your name even when you are alone. These experiences are not madness, they are gifts. And gifts, when not recognized, become weighty. But when activated, they became power. What protects Scorpio is not the distance it imposes from others, it's silence. A silence that is almost a spiritual force field. When he remains silent, he is protecting what is sacred. You are observing, absorbing, deciphering. Scorpio uses silence as a way of reading, and this silence carries more answers than any scream. He doesn't respond right away because he is processing the entire world within himself. He doesn't react. In the heat of emotion, he studies, he waits, he feels, he chooses, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Scorpio intuition isn't just an impression, it's a spiritual radar. When a Scorpio feels something, the chance of being right is frighteningly high. He doesn't need proof, you just need to trust what you feel. And this, for those born with this energy, is a constant learning process, because intuition sometimes leads to places that are not always logical, but they always have truth. Scorpio notices things that no one else sees, feel what's between the lines. Therefore, at many times he feels alone, misunderstood, even crazy. But it's not madness, it's connection, a connection with layers of reality, that most people don't access. And speaking of connection, have you ever noticed how Scorpio has an absurd ability to be reborn, to start over from scratch as if you were rebuilding a spiritual empire from ruins? This is not common strength. It is initiatory strength. Strength that comes from rock bottom, from pain that becomes impulse, from destruction that becomes transmutation. Scorpio doesn't just deal with the end, it goes through the end and builds something even greater on the other side. It's the losses that make you stronger. It's the cuts that heal it. It is the betrayals that awaken him. It's not that he likes to suffer, it's just that he understood that suffering taught him what the world would never explain. While others destroy themselves in falls, Scorpio rebuilds itself, not like it was before, but like it had never been. Firmer, wiser, more intuitive. He doesn't come back to please. He comes back to dominate. And he dominates with a strength that doesn't need to prove anything. Because your existence is already proof. Your resistance is proof. Your presence is proof. But don't be fooled. Scorpio does not seek revenge as many think. He doesn't take revenge in anger. He avenges with destiny. What does this mean? It means he doesn't waste his energy chasing those who hurt him. He just watches, wait, and when the right moment arrives, life takes care of returning what was done. And when that happens, Scorpio is already on another level. It has already ascended. It has already strengthened. You have already forgiven internally because you understood that your mission is not to equal the pain you received but to rise above it. Scorpio's revenge is silent, natural, and precise. It's not theater, it's destiny in action. This justice that he carries within himself does not come from a human sense. It comes from a cosmic code. He senses when something is wrong, even when everything seems right. You know when someone is approaching you with bad intentions, even when the smile is sweet. And when you love with a dedication that few can support. Because your love is also transformation. It also requires courage. It also reveals what was hidden. Anyone in a relationship with Scorpio needs to be willing to strip off all masks, because he will see your essence. It will access what you yourself try to forget. And if you let it, it will rebuild you. But if you hurt him, he doesn't fight back. He transcends. Many say that Scorpio is difficult to deal with, but perhaps the world is too shallow to understand the depth that this sign carries. Where everyone sees a threat, he sees an opportunity for healing. Where everyone gives up, he grows stronger. Where everyone is afraid to look, he looks. Therefore, Scorpios need to learn not to shrink, not to hide, not to try to fit into a world that was not made for their energy. You were not meant to be understood. It was made to provoke awakening. If you feel like this all makes sense, it's because you're starting to remember. Remember your mission, from your seal, why you carry this energy. Now is your time to take a stand. If this video touched you on some level that you can't even explain properly, write in the comments, "I see beyond." If you feel like your pain is what made you stronger, write, "Reborn from the ashes." And if everything in you pulses with this spiritual intensity of Scorpio, write, "I am the portal." If you are here until now, it is because something inside you connected with this truth. So enjoy this video to seal this energy. Share with someone who needs to remember who they are. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, because what comes next will reveal why Scorpio is feared by the weak, but revered by the initiated. The next portal is already opening. This is where many people get confused. They confuse darkness with evil. But Scorpio didn't come to do evil. He came to see evil, to recognize the shadow, to face it without looking away, and still follow. While the world closes its eyes to what hurts, Scorpio opens it, dive, sit down, and then returns, modified, loaded, wiser. This is why Scorpio's presence is never neutral. She always provokes something, because it carries next to layers of soul that were built within the abyss. Many try to avoid the shadow. They create masks, distractions, emotional walls, superficial lives. But Scorpio can't fake it. He senses when something is not being said, feel when the energy is wrong, when the environment is heavy, when someone is smiling on the outside but crying on the inside. And that's why, even without wanting to, he becomes a light in the darkness of others, a guide, a mirror that not only reflects the beautiful, but also what is hidden, which was denied, what needs to be seen for healing to happen. This role of being a spiritual mirror for others is not light. It's lonely. It's demanding. It's an invisible mission that, most of the time, no one recognizes. But the Scorpio soul recognizes it, even when you're tired, even when she was betrayed, even when you thought about giving up. The Scorpio soul knows that it came into the world with a calling, a call that says, transform what is dense into light, heal with silence, teach with presence, protect with intuition. And to fulfill this calling, he needs to cross his own darkness before showing the way to others. And here is a crucial point. Only those who have gone through darkness know how to guide others into the light. Only those who have been broken into 1,000 pieces know how to help someone rebuild themselves. Only those who lost everything and yet found something within themselves that no one could take away are capable of teaching the true meaning of strength. And Scorpio, more than any other sign, carries this gift, the gift of being reborn with more light than it had before falling. Because pain doesn't destroy you, pain shapes you. While many run from pain, Scorpio walks with it hand in hand. Because you understood that pain is not the enemy. She's a teacher, Sora, a revealing one, a door, a key. And in that deep process of accepting the pain, feeling the pain, understanding the pain, he transforms. And it is this transformation that makes it dangerous for those who do not want to change. Because Scorpio carries a truth that cannot be silenced. He reveals. He illuminates with his own shadow. But don't think that this exempts you from feeling. On the contrary, he feels more than he shows, absorbs more than it should. And it closes not because it's cold, but because it's too deep. And depth, in this world that values the shallow, is scary. Scorpio depth demands presence. It demands listening, requires delivery. It requires courage. Because to be with a Scorpio, you have to be willing to see yourself. No filters, no layers, no masks. And not everyone is prepared for that. Therefore, Scorpio is often seen as too intense, too difficult, too mysterious. But the truth is that he is only living his mission, to be faithful to the essence. And this essence is made of shadow and light, of life and death, from beginning and end. He understands that there is no true evolution without ruptures, that there is no cure without pain, that there is no real love without risk, and so he goes to the limit. Go where no one else has the courage to go. Go to the center of the maze and come back, bringing answers, bringing healing, bringing power. Scorpio is the one who touches what no one wants to touch, who feels what no one wants to feel, who sees what no one wants to see. And for that, he often pays a price, a high price, of loneliness, of misunderstanding, of rejection. But he pays, because you know your mission is greater, that your soul came with a purpose, that he's not from here, that he was called, which he accepted. And behind every Scorpio, there is an untold story, a trauma that shaped, a loss that taught, a secret that carries, a gift that he has not yet had the courage to reveal. Scorpio is made of layers, and each layer holds a piece of something sacred, something that cannot be explained in words. But what does it feel like? That is recognized, that vibrates. The Scorpio soul is not here to please. You are here to awaken. You're here to ask uncomfortable questions, to bring about inevitable changes, to clear stagnant energies, to burn what is rotten, to make room for the new. Even if it means being hated, misunderstood, judged, he accepts, because he didn't come to adapt, came to transform, and this transformation begins within him. Before transforming anyone else, Scorpio is called to transform himself, facing your own fears, your own ghosts, your own wounds. And only when you do this does your light begin to expand. Not bright, flashy, artificial light, but a dense, firm, silent light. A light that comes from the belly of the shadow. A light that only those who have died inside know, and those who have been reborn know. This is Scorpio's true mission, to be the bridge between what was and what will be, between what hurts and what heals, between the end and rebirth. And you can't learn that in books. This is lived. Sit down, if accepted. That's why many Scorpios feel like they have a weight that they can't explain, a feeling that they are always going through something, always facing trials, always in internal battles. But that's part of the calling, because whoever carries real light must first cross all the darkness. And now that you've heard this far, if something inside you is pulsing, it's because you carry that energy. If these words echoed in your soul, If any part of you recognized yourself in this mirror, write in the comments, "My shadow is my calling." If you feel like you are undergoing a profound, silent, but powerful spiritual transformation, write, "I am the transmutation." And if, even without understanding everything, you know that there is something greater guiding you, write, "I have accepted my mission." Like this video now to confirm this vibe. Share with someone who also carries this energy and may not know it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now, because the revelation that comes next will show why Scorpio doesn't just tap into the darkness. He's the only one who knows how to turn it into light. And the next step of this journey starts now. If you are here until now, it is because something inside you is vibrating. And that vibe doesn't lie, it's a sign, a calling, a silent recognition that comes from within. You feel something when certain truths are told, don't you? That feeling that the words are passing through you, exposing you, reminding you of something that was always there, but that you couldn't explain. Scorpio is this living reminder that there is more between heaven and earth than the world wants to see. And those who carry this energy feel it all the time. Goosebumps, omens, silences loaded with a message. How many times have you felt your body react even before your mind understood? You know that, and goosebumps out of nowhere, that feeling in your chest, as if some presence is trying to speak to you without using words. So it is. Scorpio understands these invisible codes, because this energy operates at another frequency, a frequency that does not scream, but whispers, which does not explain, but reveals. Those who carry this Scorpio energy know what it's like to enter a room and feel the energy without anyone saying anything. You know what it's like to sense something is wrong, and to be right. You know what it's like to wake up with a dream so vivid that it feels like you lived another life while you slept. These dreams are not just creations of the mind, they are messages, signs, fragments of realities that the material plane cannot contain. Scorpio carries this heightened spiritual sensitivity, and therefore, he often doubts himself. Ask if you are exaggerating, if you're feeling too much, but it isn't. You are reading the invisible, and that is a gift, a rare gift, which often manifests as weight, but which, when understood, transforms into direction, protection, and power. Have you ever felt uncomfortable around someone for no apparent reason? Have you ever noticed lies without proof? Have you ever felt your heart race when someone approaches you, even if you don't know why? Have you ever felt like walking away from someone even if they were polite, smiling, kind? These are all spiritual warnings. These are the Scorpio sensors in action. Your spiritual body detecting what the eyes cannot see. And the more you ignore these signals, the stronger they get. Because you weren't born to live in automatic mode. You were born to see what no one sees. This ability to feel beyond normal also makes you more emotionally vulnerable. Because at the same time as you detect danger, you also feel the pain of others. Scorpio carries silent empathy, an empathy that bleeds together, that absorbs, who suffers, who dreams other people's dreams, who cries silently for feelings that the other cannot name. And that's why anyone who carries this energy needs to learn to cleanse themselves energetically. You need to learn to say no, staying away from toxic environments, protecting your aura, because you are like a mirror that reflects the truth, but you are also a magnet that attracts all the density that no one wants to look at. And maybe you experienced it. Maybe you've noticed that after being around certain people you feel tired, drained, confused. This happens because your energy captures what is hidden. And many people connect with you not because they like you, but because they feel like you somehow cleanse them. You understand them. You hold them. But who holds you? This is the question that Scorpio carries in his chest. Who holds those who feel everything? And yet, you continue feeling, helping, transforming, protecting, even without recognition, even without explanations, even when everything seems too much. Because you know you are part of something bigger. You feel. Sometimes he tries to deny it. But deep down, you know your pain was not in vain, that your falls shaped your strength, that your tears opened paths, and that everything he experienced was preparation. All, even now, including this moment, this video. Because it's no coincidence that you got here. It's no coincidence that you're hearing this now. There are greater forces operating to awaken what was sleeping in you. And these signs won't stop. They will increase. They will repeat themselves. They will appear in different ways, in numbers, in sounds, in encounters, in messages, like this, because the time has come to accept, to recognize, to take over. You are not like the others, and it never was. You came with a spiritual signature, and this signature has a name: intensity, true, sensitivity, depth, hidden light, healing shade. Your Scorpio soul recognizes all of this. It pulses stronger when it hears certain words. She gets goosebumps when she hears certain truths, because these truths are not new. They are memories. These are activations. These are codes that were dormant within you and are now awakening. Maybe you feel like crying for no reason, or smiling without knowing why. Maybe you are silent, but inside you a revolution is happening. That's a sign. This is living spirituality. This is Scorpio energy manifesting. And that's when you need to choose. Will you continue denying yourself, hiding, adapting to a world that doesn't understand your soul? Or will you start to accept who you are, recognizing your gifts, trusting your signals, listening to your intuition? Because the truth is, you already know. You always knew. I was just waiting for a reminder, for a confirmation, and she arrived. If everything that has been said so far has crossed you in some way, now is your time to let it echo in the world, to transform this identification into an affirmation. If you feel that you carry this sensitivity, this intuition, these invisible signs, comment now. My pain awakens me. If dreams reveal you in truths, write, I receive signs. If you have ever sensed lies even without proof, write, I see the invisible. These words are not just comments. They are declarations. These are activations. They are vibrations that connect you with others who feel the same. Enjoy this video now to seal this energy within yourself. Share with someone who needs to understand that what you feel is not an exaggeration, it is a gift. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, sign up now, because in the next part of our journey, we will reveal a profound warning. What happens when Scorpio moves away from its essence? What happens when he ignores your signals? And why this disconnection can silence the angels that protect you? Get ready. The next portal will be decisive. There are moments in life when the soul screams but the mind is silent, where your body gives you signals but you choose to ignore them, in which intuition lights up like a lighthouse, but you close your eyes, pretending you didn't see it. And it is exactly at this point that Scorpio's spiritual weakening begins, because the strength of this sign is not in acting like others, it is in being what you are, in honoring your spiritual nature, your invisible code, your deep essence. When Scorpio tries to conform to the standards of the common world, when he forces himself to ignore what he feels, to deny what he senses, to remain silent when everything inside him pulsates, that's when the separation begins. Scorpio was not born to follow superficial emotional rules. He wasn't born to please, he was not born to live automatically. The Scorpio soul was designed to pass through portals, not to build walls within itself. But what happens when she betrays herself? When do you choose the easy way out? When, for fear of appearing too strange, too intense, too spiritual, do you decide to shrink? What happens is that your protection starts to fade, not because it was abandoned, but because it was denied. Denying one's own essence is like turning off, with one's own hands, the light of one's own internal altar. And there is nothing more dangerous for Scorpio than losing connection with their intuition, because unlike other signs, Scorpio doesn't survive well in rational mode. He might even try. You can even do everything right. You can smile. You can obey social rules. You can keep up appearances. But inside, he starts to get sick. The Scorpio soul becomes ill when it remains silent for too long. It begins to withdraw, accumulate poorly, processed energy, and generate spiritual weight. And this weight manifests itself in the body, in emotions, in dreams, in repetitions of cycles, in relationships that hurt, in inexplicable voids. And what scares the most is that all of this doesn't happen overnight. Spiritual disconnection is subtle. It starts when you stop listening to that feeling, when you ignore that shiver, when you choose to stay, even though you feel like you should go, when you are silent, even though you know you should speak, when you accept it, even though you feel like you are betraying yourself. And every time this happens, something inside you moves away. Your energy field begins to lose firmness. And it is in this vacuum that dense energies approach. Scorpio has such a high sensitivity that when they are in tune with their essence, their aura works like an invisible shield, a spiritual radar that detects, repels, purifies. But when this shield is off, everything passes, everything goes in, everything contaminates. This is when you start attracting draining relationships, situations that repeat themselves, people who lie, manipulate, use. And the worst part, you feel something is wrong, but you are too weak to react. This happens because you stop trusting the only thing that has always guided you, your own truth. Denying your essence is like opening the doors to chaos. And Scorpio, more than any other sign, cannot live apart from its spirituality. This is not a choice. It is a structure of the soul. It is the basis of your purpose. Your intuition is the compass that points the way. When you don't follow through, the universe starts sending you alerts. Small at first, inconveniences, discomforts, delays, then bigger ones, losses, breakups, illnesses, deep anguish, until you understand, until you stop, until you return. And returning is not easy, because it requires courage to look inside and recognize that somewhere along the way, you have strayed from yourself, that you started living to please, to fit in, to survive. But Scorpio didn't come to survive, came to transform. He came to touch the pain and extract healing. He came to walk where no one wants to walk and, even so, bring light. When you forget it, you erase it. When you try to live like others, you dry up. When you suppress your intensity, you break. And maybe you're feeling this right now. Maybe he's tired, unmotivated, without knowing why. Maybe you're struggling to fit into a world that doesn't have room for the depth you carry. Maybe I stopped meditating, to write, to observe the signs, to connect with your spirituality. Maybe you surrounded yourself with people who don't really listen to you. Maybe you got involved in stories that have no soul. And all of this is taking a toll. But the universe is merciful to those who carry a mission. He warns, he whispers, it sends reminders, like this one, like this message, that came to you now, exactly when you needed to hear it. Because even in weakening, there is still a spark alive within you, a spark that never went out, that's just waiting to be rekindled. And that spark is your essence, your spiritual strength, your gift, your Scorpio soul. The good news is that it only takes one choice to change everything. All it takes is recognition. Just come back to yourself. Listen again, trusting the signs, accepting sensitivity, honoring intuition, saying no when the body screams, to move away when the soul does not vibrate, to preserve itself like someone protecting a sacred temple, because that's what you are, a temple. And a temple needs care, silence, rituals, protection. And if you're feeling like this message is for you, that's because it is. This is living spirituality. It's a sign. It's urgency. It's the right time. Now, I want you to transform this recognition into vibration. If you feel like you've strayed from who you really are, comment now. I'm coming back to myself. If you recognize that you have ignored your signs but want to regain your spiritual connection, write, my intuition is my guide. And if you felt like this message spoke to your soul, write, my essence is sacred. These comments are not just words. They are vibrational seals, spiritual declarations, energetic activations. Enjoy this video now if it has brought you clarity. Share with someone who also needs to remember what they carry. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now, because the next revelation will show how the Scorpio soul rises again after the fall, and why this rebirth is more powerful than any opposing force. The journey continues, and the next step is closer than you think. Scorpio is the only one marked to be reborn from its own ashes. And it's not just a metaphor, it is a vibrational reality. No other sign was designed with such energetic depth. No other soul carries so much intensity embedded in silence. When everything ends, when life implodes, when certainties crumble, it is Scorpio who walks towards the ruins with his eyes open, his heart bleeding and his spirit burning, because he knows that the end is not the end. It is just the beginning of true awakening. While many run from chaos, Scorpio understands that chaos is an invitation, a call to go down to the base of the soul and there rebuild everything again, firmer, more true, more whole. Scorpio is the one who falls knowing he will get up, not because someone will help, but because he has already been reborn before, and he knows the way. Pain in Scorpio does not paralyze. It generates portals, portals of passage, mutation, revelation. Every pain experienced by Scorpios is the seed of a new stage of their consciousness. And maybe you are experiencing exactly that right now. A cycle that closed unexpectedly, a loss that took you off your feet, a change that arrived without warning, an uncomfortable silence, a void that no one understands. But you feel it. You know, because you are not an ordinary soul. Your soul is old, full of memories, full of marks, full of missions, and each mark it carries has a meaning. None of them were in vain. They are maps, spiritual records, evidence of what you've already faced and survived. Scorpio is that. It's survival that became wisdom. It is pain that became wisdom. It's silence that became radar. It's shadow that became protection. And no matter how much they try to silence you, erase you, discredit you, your presence speaks. Your energy speaks. Your frequency speaks. And the universe listens. The higher planes recognize you. Portals open when you remember who you are. And now, you're remembering. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to explain everything, but you need to feel it. Allow. Accept that there is something inside you that no one needs to approve. Something that pulses with the strength of 1,000 lives. Something that says, you are not here by chance. Maybe you've heard this before, but now, it's different. Now it's vibrating, it's chilling, it's calling because this moment is sacred. And you feel it. This journey that began with mystery, with questions, with revelations, now reaches this point. The point of recognition. The point where you look within and say, yes, I am this. I am this intensity. I am this energy. I am this rebirth. And it doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. It doesn't matter who judged you. The truth is that you are still here. And that says it all. Why be a Scorpion is not about winning on the outside. It's about winning from within. It's about going through your own labyrinths, your own fears, your own traumas, and still moving on. Even broken, even tired, even lonely. You continue, because something bigger guides you, and that something greater is now closer than ever. And perhaps right now, you are feeling something opening up inside you, as if, finally, a forgotten part of your soul was returning. And it is. She's coming back because you listened, because you allowed it, because you remembered. Now is the time to seal this memory, to activate this force, to tell the universe, I am ready. And this act begins with something simple but powerful, the word. Therefore, if this message spoke to you, if it crossed you, if it reminded you of who you are, comment now. I accept my essence. This sentence is not just a comment. She is a ritual. It is an energetic seal. It is you confirming to your soul that you are ready to return to your center, to your truth, to your mission. If you felt that you carry this force that is reborn, this pain that transforms, this intuition that guides, write, I carry this energy. This phrase will align you with your original frequency. It will connect you with others who are also awakening. You will attract people who understand your soul without needing many words. And if you are experiencing a phase of silent rebirth, an invisible reconstruction, a deep internal cleansing, write, my pain opened portals, because she really opened it, because everything that broke you actually cleansed you. Everything that silenced you revealed you. Everything that took you away from the outside brought you closer to the inside. Like this video if you felt the vibe, like to energetically seal this message within you. Each like is a way of affirming that you are in tune with this spiritual journey. Share with someone who needs to remember what they carry, with someone who is perhaps forgetting that they are made of fire, of shadow, of intuition, of an old soul. Someone who needs to remember that Scorpio is not darkness, it is living alchemy. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, sign up now, because what comes next is for prepared souls. In the next video, we're going to go into equally deep, equally mysterious territory. If you know a Sagittarius, or if you yourself carry this energy in your chart, get ready. The next portal will reveal an even deeper mystery, a rare spiritual connection, a mission that few recognize, but that is already in motion. If you've made it this far, it's because this message spoke directly to your soul, and that's no coincidence. Now I invite you to seal this connection in a simple but powerful way. First, subscribe to the channel now. Here, each video is a portal, and if you felt this vibration, you are part of this spiritual journey. This space is yours. Then, comment below, "I made it to the end because my soul needed to hear this." This phrase is more than a comment. It's an activation code. I want to see who actually made it all the way here. You are part of the group that feels, that vibrates, that awakens. And if this content really touched you, leave a like more now. It strengthens this energetic current and allows this message to reach those who also need to awaken. And finally, it doesn't stop here. Watch the next video now that is appearing right there on the left side of your screen. He is the continuation of this journey. A new mystery awaits, and the next revelation could be exactly what your soul is searching for. Go there. I'll wait for you on the other side.